So what is the tone in today's Russian papers after last Friday's Ukraine-Russia talks in Istanbul? Well, it's not one of compromise. This is Putin advisor Vladimir Medinsky, who headed the Russian delegation. Komsomolskaya Pravda quotes him as having told the Ukrainian negotiators, if necessary, we're ready to fight a year, 2, 3, however long it takes. We fought a war with Sweden for 21 years, back in the 1700s. How long will you last? Mr. Medinsky is also quoted as quoting Bismarck, although I don't think Bismarck ever said this. Never try to deceive the Russians or steal from them, because time will pass and sooner or later the Russians always come for what's theirs. Just a reminder that Russia invaded Ukraine and has seized and occupied territory that is internationally recognised as Ukrainian. This is also the same Mr. Medinsky who had said last week that Russia was ready for possible compromises. No obvious sign. The paper notes that the delegations agreed Russia and Ukraine would each present their vision of a possible future ceasefire. But as the paper's war reporter says, in the meantime, we will continue to calmly destroy their tanks and advance to liberate Russian territories. Izvestia has an opinion piece by Oleg Karpovich, Vice-Rector of the Foreign Ministry's Diplomatic Academy. Of course, the continuation of diplomatic efforts must not be accompanied by a drop in efforts to liberate Russian regions and denazify and demilitarise what is left of Ukraine. Sooner or later, Russia's opponents will realise once and for all that if they don't want to talk to Medinsky, the conversation will be with Oreshnik missiles. This applies not just to the puppets in Kiev, but their bosses, who, seized by a parody on Bonapartism, are trying to launch a new round of hybrid wars against Moscow. We're ready for that. Moskovsky Komsomolets sees the talks as a success for Russia. It was Putin who proposed these talks, but the conditions originally issued to him for starting talks he managed to successfully ignore: a 30-day ceasefire, Putin's participation, and the participation of American mediators. A political scientist tells RBK the tone of the talks showed how far apart the delegations were. If talks continue, that's a good thing, but the suspicion is that the participants have already revealed the limits for the negotiation. He adds, a possible meeting between Trump and Putin is not the key factor that can influence the restart of negotiations. On the 11th of May, Putin said that first he wants to remove the root causes of the conflict. Until the aims of the special military operation are achieved, probably nothing will change in regard to the peace process. In my opinion, a Putin-Trump meeting will also be delayed. Mind you, Moskovsky Komsomolets points out Trump's readiness for compromise and constructive relations with Moscow is an important resource and an important achievement of modern Russian foreign policy. If there's a chance to preserve and cement this achievement without sacrificing our principal and fundamental interests, we should definitely take it.